Hello and welcome to Relatively Ordinary. I'm Karl.
Hey, Karl. It's Betsy. How's it hanging?
It's going pretty good. Going pretty good.
Yep.
It's been 2.5 weeks since
Oh.
we've recorded.
Are you going to give me crap about it?
Our fans are desperate. There's like 9 people out there.
Yeah, but
Desperate.
Think of it this way. We have like 18 days worth of tea to spill.
Yeah, our tea's not that exciting.
That's what you think.
Yeah.
I got all the juicy stuff.
But it's, almost officially summer.
Yep. This weekend, right?
Yep.
Soon.
The World Cup is in full swing.
I know you're excited about that.
Super excited about that. The U.S. had a big win. But
Argentina, Messi.
Argentina, Messi, great start. But the best story of the World Cup so far?
What?
Is the Scots.
Oh, yes.
Descending upon Boston.
And drinking a lot.
And
I heard.
drinking all of the beer in Boston.
Not all of the beer, though. Isn't it just in certain bars?
It was all of the Scottish beer.
Oh.
There's like a specific Scottish beer.
Okay.
And they drank all of it.
Oh, and it probably tastes
and they
like
drank
piss.
all of the Sam Adams.
Ooh.
And
good for business.
Yeah, like the bars are just like having a go of it.
AA is going to be busy.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yikes.
Scots can drink.
Yeah.
Sound like a fun
healthy.
bunch.
Yeah. I mean, are you feeling like FOMO, missing out on all this?
I mean, I will say that it's
probably pure chaos.
I don't know how. Well, I do know how. I mean, I'm disappointed there's a World Cup going on and I'm not experiencing it in person.
Yeah.
But
you're saving a lot of dough.
Saving a lot of money, and I just, I don't know, just with all the stuff going on, it was a little bit of a drag. But now that the tournament's on, feels great. People are happy. Visitors feel welcome. Tournament competition's been great.
Yeah.
Super entertaining. So
it's been fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't even really watched it, but the vibe.
Yeah.
The vibe has been fun.
My vibe.
Your vibe.
Has been
Your
fun.
vibe and my, secondary.
And your indifference.
No, I'm not indifferent. I'm just not sitting down attentive like you are for every game. Something I've noticed about you listening, and now I listened to a recording of you at a select board meeting, and now listening to you here, you have a little bit of a rasp to your voice.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Have you ever noticed?
No.
Oh. Well, now you know.
Okay.
I don't notice it in our everyday conversation, but
All right.
for what it's worth, I mean, if you ever need to be the voice of something, got a little rasp in there, like a smoker commercial.
I mean, could I just be the voice of Relatively Ordinary?
Oh, this is true. You are the voice of it.
Yeah.
And note, for those who are viewing our show today, we've got a new sign, an update to our old sign. Karl did this is evidence of our collaboration and how relatively ordinary we are. We have a sign of reclaimed wood that Karl, what is this called? Like
it's routing.
Okay.
With a template.
He routed the name
template.
With a sign making template, and then I used my skills of finishing the wood and painting in the lettering with black so it pops. It only took me like 4 or 5
months.
I don't know, a year.
Yeah. Only took 5 months to get that look. Yeah.
Great.
Yep. It looks good.
I know. Go us. I mean, that's pretty much how we do projects around the house.
Taking a long time.
Usually I'm the one to get my part done first, but this one, it was a back burner thing.
I don't think that's true.
True story. No, so true.
That's definitely not true.
Very efficient and thorough. But if I start something, I finish it. Yes.
I'd say that's usually true, but not always true.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Sweet. All right. Anything else you want to mention since our hiatus?
I don't know. I can't even remember all the things that have happened in the last 2.5 weeks. So
okay. Well, I just want to mention that last night I got very little sleep. I was up early. I've been up since 5 a.m.
So you're going to make excuses for a bad podcast?
No, I'm making excuses I know I'm just setting the record straight for why I'm slightly brain dead. But I have been up since 5 a.m. I did a strenuous workout this morning. And I've been going since. I saw patients. I did all the things with students today.
That is no excuse.
I yelled at the kids.
You have people like Joe Rogan, Megyn Kelly, Theo Vaughn, all mostly brain dead, with millions of listeners. Their podcast. Being brain dead, not an excuse.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, for me, I have higher standards, but maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah. You also have, a half dozen listeners. So get over yourself.
Hey, still, you have to be vulnerable to have yourself recorded. Sure. So give me a break. All right. So my question to start us off is based on something I read. I don't know where it was. One of those kind of funny pop culture articles I came across in my news feed. And it was about a term called goblintimacy. Goblintimacy. You've heard of it.
I have not heard of this.
Okay, I think
Melissa, I can't believe you pronounced something you've heard of. But I haven't.
Well, it's because
that's not so like a cool esoteric medical term.
I mean, it's probably an esoteric dating term, but anyway. So what it means is that people are deciding to go on dates, first dates, and just being their authentic selves. Like, I don't want to waste time. I want a serious relationship. So I'm going to take off the disguise.
I fart on the first date.
Well, no, sure, you probably would because you've farted on all the rest. But really, like, I'm curious if that was your approach. You were going to come in and just be your authentic self, whatever you want to do for body fluids. But it's more about getting to know your personality. So your flaws and all. What would be something that you would just need to, like, lay your cards on the table and tell me, or, say you're dating someone else, whatever, on the first date, just to see, like, if I pass this test, then we're going to have probably many more dates to come.
Okay, so can I unbutton my pants just because it's more comfortable?
Right now?
Just because it's more comfortable.
I mean, why don't you just wear pants that have elastic?
Yeah, sweatpants.
Okay, it's not the physical stuff, okay? Like, pick your nose and all that, great. But it's more, I'm looking more for, like, the essence of you. What is something that you would need to spill the beans about, you think, that you wouldn't, certainly on like a typical first date when you're trying to put your best foot forward?
Well, I'd
so
probably...
your goblin, your demons, like, that's it. That's where the term comes from. Like, you're just gonna open all your closets.
Well, I'd probably have to just come clean with the fact that while I like humans, I don't really like humanity.
Okay. Now, would you, like, go on this deep, dark path and proselytize it?
That's all you need to know.
Okay. And would you say it in, like, a very somber, depressing way?
Why would I say it any different than I just said it?
Okay. That's innocuous. I would move on. I'd be like, oh,
I don't like humanity.
No, but I would kind of just think you were a drama queen and move on. I'm like,
Yeah, again, I don't really know what you're looking for, because that was like the least dramatic thing I could say. And
but you think that, okay, I'll give you my example. It's like the thing you want to just get off your chest because it's going to scare them away eventually. It could be like, oh, I'm, dating and I have 3 little kids at home. Right? Like that's like, oh, you might not tell someone on the first.
I'm married and I have 2 kids.
No, okay, shut up. No, we're us 20 years ago. Okay, so if I were to do it,
I think my wife's cool with this, but I have to come home for the podcast.
Yeah, we still need to do this podcast together, but everything else is fair game. All right, mine would be that I would just need to be clear that I have a lot of pet peeves. And I'm pretty high maintenance when it comes to a clean and tidy home.
Just like bring a book out. And here we go. Here's the pet peeves.
All right. Thank you. But
I'm going to need you to read that.
Kind of. Like, don't leave your dirty wet towels on the floor. When they're clean and dry, they must be folded and put away this way. I own 3 vacuums, like all that stuff. Yeah. Just to be clear on how that other person handles it. That's what I'm thinking. Do you think that's fair?
I think you should stay married. That's what I think.
All right, I think you're sort of missing the point, or you're just perfect. You have no goblins.
I mean, I pretty much said I'm like misanthropic. I don't know what that's like. I mean.
Oh, that's nothing, honey. Yeah, that's nothing. I can deal with that.
Yeah, I think fairly
you know how I deal with that? La 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 la. Oh, Karl. Yep. And I busy myself with something else. I just let you rant.
Well,
I think that's how you deal with my pet peeves too.
Well, that's a great. That's a great little tease for our subject.
Oh, really? How to ignore your partner while giving them respect?
In honor of our 2.5 week absence from the podcast, we're going to talk about presents. And
like you giving me gifts? You have a gift for me?
No gifts. There's no gifts until December. Okay. Sorry, maybe anniversary. Maybe September. Yeah. But yeah.
Okay.
No. You had Mother's Day like 3 weeks ago, bro. Come on.
And you got your Father's Day gift this weekend.
Yeah, maybe I get a gift.
This past weekend, I meant when you went golfing forever.
That's Sunday.
And I cleared.
That's Sunday,
the gutter
girly.
Out.
That's Sunday, girly.
You celebrated it last weekend.
Yeah, and I vacuumed the pool 3 times.
Yeah, with a robot.
3 times.
Give me.
I had to drop the robot in the pool and take it out of the pool. So we're going to talk about presents. Okay. And specifically, I want to talk about how distracted we are in our culture, in our society.
Pass.
And as a people. And, I also thought of this topic for 2 reasons. One, because in thinking about the podcast itself, I've talked about that this is it's a forced opportunity for us to be present with one another. Mm-hmm. And
so hard to schedule, clearly.
Yeah. And, we keep, one of us keeps coming up with excuses to push it off.
Not naming names.
Yeah. Name may rhyme with Betsy.
You had to go there. Oh, that was bad form.
Also might be nicknamed Butsy.
All right. We get the point.
So the other reason is because I'm reading this book, Mind Gym, which is a sports psychology book. And it's got a lot of interesting snippets about, athletes and performance and being present. And, I just kind of want to start with how distracted we are as a culture. We seem to be maybe even addicted to distraction, but certainly there's an attention deficit, and we've talked about that before. And maybe there's a fairly obvious answer to this question, but what do you think are the reasons why we're so distracted?
Well, I think it's because there are plentiful distractions in how we orchestrate our lives. The pings, the dings of all the technology. I think it's also, if you're in a busy household and you're someone who goes out in the world and interacts with a lot of people, whether you're a student or a working professional or someone who just has a lot of things to do in the day, you've got things buzzing around in your brain constantly. It was interesting. It was a psychologist who shared something about the number of thoughts we have in a day. It's like something in the thousands, I believe, and that we can't control them. And, a lot of them are just sort of our internal narrative and monologue, but then a lot of them are, taking in the sensory information of the world, and it's hard to refocus our brains and not give them too much attention, and how to kind of ignore and refocus yourself is really difficult, especially if you're one who's not necessarily framing the thoughts in a positive, productive way. But yeah, at least in my experience, and I'm sure this is for a lot of people, when you think about executive functioning and how your brain operates that way, we really need to think about past, present, and future, and planning and processing information and organizing thoughts. And so your brain's constantly spinning, and then you're taking in all this information, and we've got so many devices that are just plugged in for constant action. I mean, it is hard to go off the grid. And what's interesting, the one time I did this recently on Sunday, I was so looking forward to it. I just did a ton of household chores and yard work. I was constantly it was great. I was moving my body. I was getting a lot of things done on my to-do list and just enjoying being in our beautiful property on a nice day. And I had my watch off. It had died. My phone was set aside and I forgot where it was. Clearly wasn't on my computer, and I'm just out in the garden and doing different jobs, and hours go by, and then I finally, sort of shower and recover, and I look at my phone and I'm like, oh crap, these missed text messages of urgent things that need to be addressed for the next day for work, and then I'm jumping on these emails, and then
This is Sunday.
This is Sunday, yeah. Yeah, did I say Sunday?
Yeah, why is anybody bothering you work stuff on Sunday?
Well, the issue is that Monday morning at 8 a.m., there was this whole orchestrated thing that needs to be, this is teaching. You have to have these plans in place weeks and weeks in advance.
So you didn't do your job?
No, I did my job flawlessly. I have amazing executive functioning ability to focus when the task needs to get done. But
you see where I'm going with this?
Oh, you're distracting me on purpose. Are you like putting in a plant to?
No, I'm not distracting you. I'm like
emphasizing how this happens.
When you are
trying,
you are doing everything you can to find, first of all, to find presence in that moment, and second of all, to prepare yourself so that you can be present in that moment when Monday comes. There's still this draw.
Well, and the draw, was fortunate. I don't know how people dealt with this otherwise, but it was like finding replacement faculty and dealing with student absences and clarifying instructions, and there's new faculty and and rooms and blah blah blah, and you have to address it then. And I guess the only time we can truly just be away is never.
So
that's my pessimistic view. Honestly, it's so hard to even take a vacation.
Yeah. Oh, that's something that a lot of people.
It brings me anxiety. Like trying to take vacation brings me anxiety because I have to have all the things in place, and you're going to come back to a dumpster fire of things to crawl out of. It's tough. And I'm sure that's a lot of people's experiences. So even if you're not working, if it's like managing kids stuff or household things or pets.
So then is the ability to be present a luxury?
I would say so. Absolutely. And I think it takes intention. Again, I think for me personally, it's just setting myself up that I can take a number of hours to truly allow my brain, people's brains need this.
Yes.
We need the rinse and repeat. And yes, it's sleep, which I just, mentioned I got a very lousy amount of sleep last night. My own doing, but also mostly my own doing. And no one to blame but myself, but also the pace of life. Mm-hmm. And, I think that, for instance, I like taking a bath, but I just sort of, dinner's cleaned up and taken care of, and the kids are set for tomorrow, and all the things for work are okay, and then I can just...
There's no wet towels on the floor.
There's no wet towels on the floor. And I can have this luxury of, putting some music on, reading a book, or it's like watching a TV show or going for a run. I think, there needs to be this intention set, at least on a daily basis, because it centers us. And for me, I feel like I'm a high functioning introvert. And what I mean by that is I really need that time. And, even if it's just being able to lock in and do something for work, I like things just tidied and quiet. Don't interrupt me. Let me just, and that's what I feel about my presence time. I do find it hard to do meditation and yoga. And so I like more of an active meditation. And that's just me, and it's a work in progress, but yeah, I'm one of those people when I'm doing yoga, I have to spend the first 30 minutes going through my to-do list before I'm like in the flow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what do you think that does to us? What do you think it does to you?
Ages me, premature aging, stress, anxiety. I think it's just the human experience. Yeah, and it's definitely a learning curve. I am not one to, enjoy a lot of downtime. I can't not do nothing, right? But I would love more of the simple times of passing my hours to have that luxury more often, to be able to read a book or exercise more, or, play the piano, or, take up a new hobby. Like when, I got to go surfing with a friend last weekend, and I do not care how well I do out there, but being able to sit out on a board in the ocean.
I think that's one of the best things about surfing, because
you're in nature.
Yeah. And you can't, it's hard. It's similar to skiing, right?
You have to be attentive.
Yeah. Like skiing, you have,
for your safety.
The chairlift could be your time to mull over your to-do list or get the Sunday scaries. But when you're going down the hill, you have to be attentive to everything you're doing. I think when you're on a surfboard, if you're trying to catch a wave, you need to be locked into, reading the surf and having an idea of where you are in space, and if you can time it. And then the rest of it's just work. It's a lot of work paddling around and staying afloat and, getting back on the board, whatever it is.
Well, and I think that's why there's such a strong link between, a certain intensity of exercise and trying novel tasks, and how that really is supporting brain health and longevity with our, we think about our cognitive capacity and, all of the things about long-term brain health, like enriching our lives in that, especially as we age, are really important. Mm-hmm. And you shouldn't force it. Like if you told me I had to learn how to use a sewing machine, I might freak out and have a panic attack, because it's just not something I feel like I'd be good or patient with. But it's finding the thing that will kind of push me and really work my brain. And if it's for me, combined with some physical activity, you get the double benefit.
So I find it very interesting that you clearly know the benefit of letting go of some of the chaos and being present, but yet you don't know how to find the time and the space to do it.
Yeah, I think that's because I am a little bit of a perfectionist. I'm a recovering perfectionist. And recovering, yes, because perfectionism doesn't exist, and I, counsel people on this all the time, and yet don't take my own advice. So perfectionism doesn't exist, and so I'm a recovering perfectionist. And I have really value my professional skills and wanting to use that to its fullest extent. So I have a hard time saying no, and it's hard. It's hard to be present with something that feels less productive. I don't know if that's true for a lot of people, but you know, it's almost like a guilty pleasure to sit down with a book and a cup of tea, right? I'm like, okay, well, gosh, the laundry needs to get done. And, you know, did I catch up on my business accounting? And do I have to respond to those emails, right? So I have a really hard, you're much better at this. And our son certainly is the expert, but just being like, that's for another day. I don't do that very well. And there's something in me, even if it's a, you know, a rainy weekend day and there's no major priorities, I'm still going to find something that I like need to accomplish so that I can just let go. And I'll probably be present when I'm like, when I built this sign, I did a really thorough job. It's not perfect. I was okay with that.
I mean, the routing was not perfect. So.
No, well, that's it, right? I'm okay being relatively ordinary.
It is.
It doesn't say relatively perfect.
Yeah. It also doesn't say relatively crappy. I just want it for the record.
Yes. Yes.
So, speaking of crappy date night, no, just kidding. You just mentioned me and our son. Somebody aside from us, is there somebody in your life that you see who does seem to do that, you know, model sort of being present and being maybe a little more carefree, that you sort of look at and you're like, I wish I could be like that?
Yeah, I definitely have a few friends. I think for my direct family, my sisters and mother, the apple doesn't fall from the tree. But I can see several of our friends, and I won't name names because I didn't ask permission to call them out. But, you know, I have some friends who are definitely the type to just embrace social opportunities and the gift of travel and experiences of like everyday routine things and just soak it up. Oh, like it's a beautiful day, let's go for a hike. Or, you know, I'm just lounging and let's lounge and chat. And then I'm like, what? We can't lounge yet. It's noon. The day has so much to be accomplished, before we lounge. So, yeah, I am a little jealous, but I can't align with that easily. I can't align with that. But if you said like we're gonna go hike Mount Washington, I'm like, hell yeah, that's an accomplishment. I can lean into that being my activity for the day.
Yes. So,
and I'll tell you, my favorite thing, you know, where I feel like I am the most present and why I schedule it every year is to do a long hike and incorporate some sort of camping if possible. But there is, no better way to just be in the moment than on top of a mountain. It doesn't matter if it's a beautiful view day or not. Just that experience of centering yourself, you're just this small little speck on this big, beautiful world and, appreciating it for what it is and what your body's capable of doing is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a lovely retirement if I could do that a few times a week. That's kind of why I stay in shape, so I can keep doing that when I get older.
Yeah. So just for the record, if you ever want to chill and unwind with Betsy,
take me on a hike.
Expect to climb the highest mountain in our region.
Yes.
What do you see, this addiction to busyness and the struggle with attention and distraction? How do you see that playing out? We already brought up an example from work. So maybe thinking more about like your students and what you see in the generation that you're trying to teach. Yeah,
I'm hoping they're better. But if I'm going to make some broad assumptions here, I think I see a full spectrum. I see people who were probably just like my son who are now college students. And for me, I'm like, gosh, what are you doing? It can almost be frustrating. Like your potential.
You're only living up to 100% of your potential when it could be 120%.
Yeah. And then, I have the other end of the spectrum where there's unnecessary worry and stress. And I'm like, wow, dude, you're kicking ass. You just gotta chill. And I don't know. I mean, maybe there isn't a happy medium. Maybe it's we have these sort of two ends of the spectrum, and they just need to learn and live with each other. But yeah, I definitely see a broad spectrum, but I think it's unfortunate. I can remember a time where I would go for a ride, drive, or go for a walk, or spend an entire workday with maybe receiving 3 emails and not receiving any phone calls unless it was intentionally scheduled. Like, weren't those beautiful times, the late 90s, early 2000s? Before the iPhone, I have to say, there was a lot of undistracted stretches, and it's a lot to know that you can either get inundated. And I set restrictions. Like, I do not want my phone to ping every time I get a work email. I have to be like, okay, I'm committing. I'm going to spend time looking at this. But I do get other things coming through because, what if there's an emergency, right? So that we think about it. Like, how many times have there been emergencies, like valid ones? And so I think, it's being mindful that maybe we need more of that back in our world. And did I feel unsafe? No. I mean, bring back the payphone. Come on. Don't you agree?
Yeah. I mean, with the general idea that, that there's too much distraction from our always on devices. Yeah, of course.
I miss college classrooms where people just had like crappy flip phones that didn't even work in the building.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it is amazing. It's like, when I'm in the room, I mean, even with grown-ass adults who, are our age or older, like, it's still like a norm. If I'm like in a room for work and there's maybe like, about one of these offsites where there's 10, 15 people in a room, maybe more, and there's like a break in the action, everyone just turns to their device and it's just like blah, 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 and maybe you're catching up on email or texting your family, or maybe you're just like
bored and looking at something.
Yeah, like I'm doing my Wordle or whatever,
Yeah, I mean, it's everything and anything, and I'm sure that interrupts good opportunity for in-person social communication. But, I have this trouble, at least from the teaching lens. We state that we don't want them distracted because our brains can't do 2 things at once, right? We can't task shift like that and keep up with the content. So, but at the same rate, we shouldn't be talking at someone. You can't listen to me continually lecture for 2 hours straight. That's also terrible. You're not going to retain everything. So we have a job to kind of keep the learning engaging, but I think from the device spectrum, like, there's so many opportunities for distractions, and students are totally doing that, but they're adult learners. We're all addicted to the distractions that we can constantly get. I mean, how many times have you recently sat through a conference or speech or some sort of work meeting and did not do something that was totally off task?
I mean, I almost can't. If it's because I've been in person with people so infrequently, I generally can concentrate on that because it's infrequent.
Okay.
But when I'm on like a long meeting that I don't need to be an active participant in, I can't.
No, you can't focus
it's
on
like
that.
The select board meetings, like, not only do I need to be focused on all the conversations that are happening, I'm literally on show. I mean, I am
being recorded.
That job is as much about performance as it is about,
skill,
the content, right?
Yeah.
So in that context, I rarely am distracted. It's hard, I can't really be distracted. But
well, I think
like
that's
for work, it's like if I sit on like an all hands meeting and the content doesn't apply to me, I'm checking out.
It does speak to how our brains are being utilized with presence. So like a great example is you're needing to be really focused because you're on. It's performative. There are expectations for you in certain realms. Like if you're actually presenting, or if you're expected to use this information to have a deliverable later. There's you're chatting with your child and they're having a difficult moment. Like you need to stay focused and put in effort. So your brain is working at a different level and your presence and focus level increases. But when you can be more passive, and I think that happens when we do multitask, things, or, we're just zonked out because something's happening is boring, whatever, we're not present. And it becomes hard when it's something that's leisurely and being present and getting rid of distractions, because that's probably when our brain needs it the most. Like it's a lot for you couldn't do 8 hours of select board meeting and be present. Like that's not the type of presence you necessarily need to thrive. It's what you need to function for that job.
That's what happens to bad people when they die.
Yes.
They do that for the rest of eternity.
But the type of presence you have when you're skiing and don't want to break your femur, or you're spreading mulch in the garden. No, I know. Yes, but the risks are high, but the reward is also high, and so your presence is high.
Yeah.
But it's finding that nice compatible.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about it before. It's like things that are challenging, that are challenging enough that if you don't concentrate, you cannot do it well, and maybe even there's risk of harm.
Yeah.
But they're achievable enough that there's joy in the pursuit of that activity.
Yeah.
That's sort of the peak of like mindfulness. So on that end, like how do we how can people design more of that type of pursuit in their lives?
Well, my advice is to find something that will bring you joy. Ideally, have a even if it's wishy-washy, some sort of goal around it, so that you give yourself time and energy to commit to a practice of it, and commit to that in a way that, okay, it's, a hobby or something fun, but you regularly access it, and, protect that time in your schedule, right? I think that's probably the best way to do it. You can't, I think it's harder when you're like, it's like starting a new hobby or New Year's resolution. You're like, it's wishy-washy, but I think you have to really set intention and give yourself time and sort of hone it. Right? I'm guessing. I mean, I'm just thinking of some of the activities we talked about. And, even if my practice is taking a bath, right? Like, okay, I'm going to take a bath and read a book. So I need to, find a really good book to read and let my family know these are my expectations, and get my favorite bubble bath, and set aside time every week that I'm going to do this, and really focus in to make sure you have that opportunity and enjoy it.
Do you think there's ways that we can cultivate this in a community?
Well, I think some communities do it well by having organized activities across the age ranges, like stuff for kids and older adults, and us grown-ups, pick-up sports, and the craft Sunday clubs and the outings they do. I think those kind of things are really helpful. Having a community center, having volunteer jobs available for people. I think it's nice to kind of, it should align with your interests and maybe skill set, but doing something other, right? So I know you did enjoy your time on the select board and are also anticipating it ending, but if you join the Parks Committee, for instance, it's something that you enjoy and you could contribute, so you feel good about it. It's time where you're going to be mingling with community members. It's a positive environment. You're giving back, and you can be really present for it because you know that there's meaning behind it. Something like that. I think our immediate community does a pretty good job, and I imagine a lot of other communities across Maine are like that. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we had town meeting this week, and I think that the actual exercise of, the people of the town are the legislative body that approves the budget and approves ordinances. Mm-hmm. It has meaning. I think it's, it's participatory democracy, mm-hmm. but it also, you have to come together as a community and, vote, and the vote may not go the way you want it to go. And you have to, accept that and move on. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the things that's like hard, and I think maybe there's some small signs that it's getting better, but still, like in the very like polarized political landscape we have, even being present, like physically being in the room, doesn't mean you're actually present and being like attuned mm-hmm. to your neighbors and your people in your community. Like, I think people come in with, some people come in with a predisposition based on like, their religious beliefs or their political beliefs or what they heard on, talk radio or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they have already judged the situation and judged the people in the room, and they're not truly present, even though they're there. Yeah. Because they're not, shut off the voices from, mm-hmm. Fox News and listen to the people around you. Mm-hmm. And I think I see a lot of that sort of, behavior where it's like, you're not there. Mm-hmm. You are living inside your head, and you're living inside this bubble that you've created, and you're not sort of letting the world come in.
To be fair, I'm probably one of those people.
You are one of those people.
I mean, I come in with my mind made up, but I did listen to opposition. I didn't agree with it, but I heard them. A lot of it was just not really relevant to the vote at hand. But, I think it's all in the delivery. And what's interesting about that, you're walking in, if there's a vote, it feels higher stakes, right? So you're more present because to that, like, I'm here and I've got an agenda and I'm going to serve this agenda, and I'm alert so I can raise my pink card. But I think in a different scenario, and of course not as many people would attend, but if you were to just sort of have like a meet and greet, mingle, let's kind of get to know each other, like a cocktail party of sorts, maybe without cocktails because, government stuff, cocktails would be good. No,
you want people to come, you better bring the cocktails, especially if you want the Scots to show up.
Yes, those Scots. But that's where I think that to me is a really good environment to be present, because when you're meeting new people and discovering things about, others you didn't know and sharing stories, that can be a really great way to be, be in an environment that's enriching. And you have to be present, and, you're likely not getting the devices out. You're just enjoying the moment. And so I think those social activities are also important, and maybe a better way to learn about your neighbor than having to, banter over disagreements on specific town. What do you call them again? The different things you vote on.
Warrant articles.
Warrant articles. Yes. I mean, that alone is going to make things spicy.
Yeah.
But if we get rid of warrant articles and we replace it with a beer, you know, and
I'd vote for that.
Yeah. I think that's, you know, even if you don't drink alcohol, just something that's more of a social downtime.
Less Warren articles, more World Cup watch parties.
Yes, exactly.
With beer. Okay, so let's talk about family time in this house and our marriage. So how do we deal with presents? How are we doing? Give us a grade. Give us a letter grade.
Ooh, I guess
Teacher.
It depends on, I mean, I can grade myself. I'm probably a B.
Minus.
Some days I'm C+.
I give you a B-.
Well, I mean, this is the kind of hierarchy. If I had a long day, like, there are some days, like today, for instance, I was probably working 10 hours and I still am not done. Just a long day. I see patients and I'm at work teaching and all those things. It's a long day. And then I've got, all the things that are firing on my agenda for the rest of the week. And then we're going somewhere this weekend, and it's like tomorrow is our daughter's last day of school, and there's all the things that are making it chaotic, and you've got your meetings, and then like, right, my brain is not thinking, oh, I gotta have some one-on-one time. Like, we literally had to schedule this tonight, and I knew if I failed you, that
like we put it on Google Calendar to that
you would have been so pissed. But there are alternative situations.
It's not me. It's the legions of fans. I don't know how many times I have to tell you that. I know. Legions of fans.
I know.
I got you, all 6 of you. I got you.
But, in an alternate situation, it might be like a pretty even keel. Like, things, it's rare. It's like probably 1 out of 30 days. I'm like, all right, things are pretty mellow. Do you want to hang out? And if you have that same situation where you're like, yeah, I got an hour, let's go do this or that. Or, we set aside time. Like, I think we have to be intentional about it.
Yeah.
We have to say, hey, this is the night we're going to do this. And, it's great to be spontaneous, but let's be honest, you can't really be very spontaneous in this life. Not in this era of this life.
I mean, you can be spontaneous.
I mean,
Betsy.
I guess I can be spontaneous and I'm like, oh, I sat down and there's no more toilet paper. Guess I'm, using my shirt. Like, that's spontaneous.
That's your example? Okay.
Hey, it's not very exciting. I'm not like, hey, let's go.
If that's your example of being
Vegas, baby.
If that's your example of being spontaneous, you need to work on that shit. That was weak. Weak.
Give me your example. When were you last spontaneous?
Well, I mean, I think I was fairly spontaneous last Sunday when, my friend texted me on Saturday afternoon and said, can you play golf tomorrow morning? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Let's play golf,
right?
Me surfing. I found out the hour before.
Right. Yeah, you did that, right? You did that, which and to me, I think.
For the record, I did not wipe myself with my T-shirt. That was just something that came to me.
I assume that was just a terrible analogy. So not something that really happened, but also do your laundry. Yeah, I mean, I think especially like, dude, Maine in the summer is like, it's like you're
take every opportunity.
Yeah, it's like you're dying, and you've got like 90 days to live, yes. And just get as much shit. And it's like if your friend calls you up and it's like, dude, the fish are jumping. Yeah, let's go. Yeah. You want to be in a position where you can like
grab your rod and go.
Yeah, go. So. Because Maine in the summer is like the best. And you live here and you put up with some less stellar weather for 48 weeks of the year. But
can we remember this? You seem to forget. Come winter, you're still so excited. You're so
because winter's the bomb. But summer is summer.
I slowly die, and then it takes forever. I'm like, oh yay, it's April. No, so
April
great.
Sucks.
Then May, you're like, ooh, and you get that one like mediocre day.
May's got 6 good days.
And then finally June.
31.
And then finally June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'll also say this though.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and I'll, not only, so a couple things to contextualize this, not only summer in Maine, right? This sort of fleeting glimpse of life that we have. Mm-hmm. There's also the fact that, our son is going to be, he's a senior now.
I know.
He's going to be a senior in high school.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's been said.
You're old.
I don't know who studies these things to prove it. I don't know where the stat came from, but it's been said that, your kid, you spend 90% of the time that you spend with your kid by the time they leave for college. Yeah. So it's 90% of the time that you're going to spend their entire lives together. Right?
Yeah. I know. It's sobering.
That's sobering. And you think about it and it's like how fast our kids are going. So
yeah. Then you make me sad. I haven't been present enough. For the record, I believe I told you that. I mean, I got it from somewhere else.
You know where you got it from?
I didn't get it from you.
You got it from me.
No, I didn't.
You know where I got it from?
From me.
From Pivot. So...
No. I think that bounced back and forth a lot, but I was the originator.
Yeah, right. This happens all the time.
You think I remember where that came from?
Look.
Okay.
When the most flattering thing in the world is when other people start spouting off your ideas and they think they're theirs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how do you feel about that? Like our kids are growing up, and how do we make sure that we do embrace that time that we spend with them?
Well, I would say of the 17 years he's lived under our roof, there's probably been a cumulative 6 months of pure bliss. I'm just kidding. But in all honesty, they get to this point where they're pretty self-sufficient. They're pleasant to be around. You see the good human in them. They're fun and charismatic and silly. You are so proud of what they've accomplished and where they're going. And then poof, they have to leave. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's unfair. Right? Why couldn't I see a bye-bye to the, crazy 3-year-old who wouldn't sleep through the night?
I mean, if you were a bird, that's what you do. You just push them out of the nest.
Yeah, screw you.
Let's go. I'm going to go find another mate. I'm going to find another bird that dances.
Remember, you would have killed for a date night that didn't cost an arm and a leg with the babysitter, and then whew. I don't necessarily want to retain him forever. I have had that looming threat of living in our unfinished basement, which is getting worse by the day. So I'm pretty sure he's not going to want to live with us forever. But yeah, I mean, I think I cherish as much as I can and lean into those moments when they're chewing your ear off or sharing something that might feel benign, but is, deeply special just because of the average everyday joy of it. And, it's like when they're babies and they say, oh, this goes fast, enjoy it. And you're like, oh my God, I'm dying. I'm so tired. And this is painful and stressful.
Well, why people talk about it goes fast with babies.
Yeah.
Because you don't get any friggin' sleep, so you can't remember any of it. So when you look back on it, it seems like it flew by because you can't remember it because you retain no memories from that time period of your life.
Well, I feel like they both stole many brain cells from me, so I've never regained that ability. Mm-hmm. However, I think all the time periods have seemed to fly by. I mean, the childhood into teenagehood just, whew. Wow.
Yeah, well, we've packed a lot of things in those years.
Yeah, and now, this, of course, you're a teenager for a little while longer, but I can't believe that that's coming and going too. And yeah, I mean, if you break it down and all the little things, yes, it's been lots and lots of time. But I think it's, I always stop and question, okay, am I parenting right? Did I do the right and say the right thing? And, what is their perception of me? Because now they're they're going to be off finding their own partners potentially, and, you know, considering, you know, how family is going to look for them going forward. And are they going to look back and be like, oh, my mom was crazy. She had this book of pet peeves.
She focused on the important things in life.
Like tonight when I stood on a stool and laid the ground rules for summer.
Let's see. That was a funny moment, for one, because you literally stood on a stool in the kitchen and dictated to the kids the ground rules for summer, which included things like
sucked at it,
emptying the sink of dishes. And
listen, my first question was pop quiz. Mom comes home after a very long day of work and the sink is full of dishes. Is this, you know, one okay and mom will be proud of you, or, you know, no, she'll be angry and up your ass?
Is this a trick question?
Yeah. I don't, I guess should we do the dishes? I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to strangle you. What? It's like, option A is you have the worst summer. Option B, I let you do whatever you want.
It was a moment of presence.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
And you just, you know, you delivered the important message, which is just do the bare minimum to get mom off your ass and you'll have a great summer.
Yes. I'm hoping that landed where it should have landed, because if this week was evidence of anything.
I mean, 4 days. I give them 4 days.
4 days. Well, you know what I'm going to do. And if they decide to listen to this, they're going to find that I hide all their stuff in the basement because I just don't want to see it everywhere. And I start deducting their allowance every time I suspect one of their dishes is in the sink.
Yeah, and chore lists.
Chore list.
You know,
oh, dude, I'm totally going to do the chore list.
Do the damn chores and you won't need a list.
Yes, chores in love, remember? And if you're curious what that means, go back and see the chores in love episode.
Yep. So, all right. So last question before we wrap up.
Also, I'm impressed you have no show notes. This show's a lot of presents, babe.
Well, I had like 47 minutes for waiting up here for you to join me.
I do have a question before your last question.
Sure.
Do you ever find yourself, I mean, you're pretty attentive. You're good at this, you know, back and forth. But do you ever find yourself like zoning off and then you come back and you're like, oh, yeah, let's continue that?
In the show?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it is hard to host when I'm the one asking the questions. Like sometimes trying to keep in my mind the questions I want to answer, and then there's things where you bring up something that I wasn't anticipating that is, you know, good to double click into, or the conversation goes in a different direction. I don't want to say the point that I had. So doing the thinking about what comes next.
Yeah. Did you say double click?
Yeah.
Like I'm a, you know,
like
you're a mouse and I'm
if you live
a computer.
Yeah. If you live in the like tech business world, you hear that
normal
stupid phrase like 1,000 times a day.
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
So
we're going to double click into that.
Oh.
We're going to circle back on that one.
That sounds
We've got some takeaways from this meeting.
Dorky. The takeaways for sure.
Yeah.
But the double clicks a little
by the
dorky.
way, nobody needs takeaways anymore. Just have the freaking AI note taker tell you what the takeaways are. Like, done with that shit. We don't need it. Moving on. Thank you, AI.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you said that because, well, no, so it means you're pretty present when you're hosting.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if I'm honest, there are sometimes where you like, you know, elaborate on something and I'm acting attentive and my brain's over there.
I
I'm
have
like,
to
whoa, come back.
I have to listen to where you're going because sometimes it goes in a weird way. And I'm like, I don't know
That's
where
true.
she's going. I'm going to wrangle her back in. So it's like, pull it back to her.
Yes. I find that I'm not on Earth a lot. Do you find that like you're just this floating head? It's like I'm on Benadryl half the day.
That'd be great. Yeah.
For the record, I don't take drugs.
Yeah, I'll have what she's having. So the last question is, how do you, or do you even try to model presence for your kids?
Well, I think I try to model it for anyone Well, whether it's modeling or I just try to be conscientious about being present when I know it's important or I think it's important. I'm having meetings with people. I don't even bring my phone. I'm, needing to check in and see how the kids are doing. Best place to do that is driving. I'm focused on the road, but we're all belted in and I have the no phone in the front seat rule. I think that's how I model it, by asking questions and being present. And when I'm not, I will be like, oh, you're interrupting me in something. I can't focus on this. Not right now. If you, write me a message or bother me later or give me a moment and I'll be with you, and doing it in a respectful way most of the time. I think that's how it's modeled, because I really do think it's tied to just needing to put the things away and be there. Like, take the headphones out, put the book away, the whatever. And then also taking time. I love it. I'll go out for a walk and I'm like, I'm taking the dog for a walk. Do you want to join me? Or, hey, I'm, gonna go do this errand. Do you want to come with me? And I love it when the kids are all in for that, because it's just a way to connect with them and chat with them, and just even the mundane, be together.
Yeah Good.
And I do think it's important in our relationship to do that as well. And I think on a daily basis there's at least a few moments we steal. But the time where we truly, outside of this podcast, because let's be honest, it's, the most undivided attention you've had from me all week. It's family dinners, and it's when, we have some downtime together, most often on a weekend when neither of us are working, to do things like go for a walk, go for a run. Well, the running maybe... that might be an entanglement of stressors, but go in the hot tub going to eating dinner together, something like that. Yeah. Well, you always are just one slight step in front of me, and you're always one slight step behind me. So what are you still chewing on? Ooh, that it's hard, and it takes practice, and in another lifetime, maybe in my later lifetime, I will be better at it. I think that part of the wisdom of aging is knowing the importance of being present, and you also are afforded more time if you're no longer working. But some might say there's no time like the present to be present. Yes. So. Just saying. Yeah. What do you find relatively ordinary about it? What is ordinary about it? I don't know. What is, I think it's universal. I don't think this is kind of a layup, let's be honest. Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes, it is a layup. But, thinking about it rationally, outside of very young people, like infants and toddlers, I think we just have this world, this existence that is competing for our attention. And no matter how wealthy you are, or how comfortable you are, or, if you're retired or not, or, have a stressful life comparatively to someone else, I think we're all in this chaos. And so, just universal. I don't know. Do you have another thought? I think this is really what, Buddhism is all about, is calming the mind and clearing the mind of thoughts and desires and fears and anxieties, so that you can just be present and be mindful in the moment. Yeah. So I think it's
I think the tyranny of the urgent, thanks to the advent of all of our attention-grabbing technologies, has exacerbated the problem.
Yeah.
But the reality is this is what we are, right? Like, you sit down and meditate under a tree 2,000 years ago, and then there's like a fly buzzing over your head, and, the grass is making your legs itch, and, there's a distracting smell coming from over there. Like, our brains are naturally trying to make sense of the world around us at all times, and to, react to stimulus, and, observe threats and rewards and everything else. And the vast majority of that doesn't serve us.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything for us, but we're wired that way. So you have to learn how to calm that and get over it.
It kind of reminds me, what you were talking about is there have been times in my life where I could be more present and sort of just take life as it came. I mean, for instance, when I studied abroad, I was with fellow students who I knew, but I was living in a dormitory. So a very simple housing setup that was temporary. I had a pretty light course load, and I was traveling. I was in a different country. And so that in itself, that experience of being immersed somewhere, like, of course you want to go places and see things and do different experiences, but, also a lot of downtime and a lot of alone time. And so, sometimes my plan was, I had a little bit of schoolwork, or I maybe had a lunch date with someone, but otherwise the day was mine, and I had my 2 feet and would just set out and see where life brought me and go explore things. Sometimes it was on a run, sometimes on a walk, sometimes it's public transportation, sometimes it's moseying a bookstore or laying in a park. And
playing the didgeridoo.
I did play the didgeridoo. Yep. I mean, I won't go into details about that, but A, I was bad, and B, it probably wasn't the most sober. But it was fun. However, these other times I was talking about, I like it. Life was so simple. Mm-hmm. It was so simple. And do I regret everything that, life has afforded me? Absolutely not. But, accumulation of degrees and debt and work expectations and family, like, it's a totally different world.
Yep.
I can't even imagine having a day like that where I was like, oh, wake up. Good night's sleep. What do I do today? Let's just go walk to the park and bask in the sun and listen to some good music. Like, oh my gosh. That's probably why our child was lying prone on the deck in his pajamas the other morning, because it's like, nothing pressing today. Let's just go lay with the dog for a couple hours.
Yeah.
I wish.
Yep. There's wisdom in that.
I could be present for that. I just have to erase a lot in my life.
Yep.
So, anyway.
All right. Well, thank you for being present with me.
Yeah, it was hard.
Yep, I know.
I'm tired.
It was hard to get you. It was hard to get your presence.
I showed up, though. So, yeah, good talk. Thanks, babe.
Good stuff. Oh, we're doing that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye.